Welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Yeah,
So, you're looking to learn more about facility management service aggregators.
that's right.
Okay, great. Yeah, they could be a really valuable tool, especially for businesses with, multiple locations.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of talk about them now, and for good reason. I think they really offer a new way to think about facility management.
That makes sense.
Oh,
I mean, think about it, right? You've got all these different locations that need plumbing, HVAC, you name it, and it can get really complicated trying to find the right people for the job.
it really can. And that's where these service aggregators step in.
Hmm.
You've got this one contact point for all your needs instead of having to search all over the place for contractors in every city.
Okay, so that's super convenient. But I guess what I'm wondering is what's the real benefit here? I mean, couldn't I just, put together my own list of contractors? What am I getting with an aggregator that I couldn't get on my own?
That's a good question, and it really highlights why these service aggregators are so valuable. It's not just about having a list of names, it's about the relationships they have, the rates they've already negotiated, and the standardized work they do to make sure everything's consistent across all your locations. And honestly, it takes a lot of the administrative work off your plate.
You mean like all the time spent vetting contractors, getting insurance certificates, and processing invoices?
Exactly, all of that goes away.
Wow. So it's more about strategy than just convenience.
Exactly. It frees you up to focus on the bigger picture, like optimizing your budget and making sure everything's running smoothly. And that directly affects your bottom line.
I see what you mean. So it's especially useful for businesses that are trying to grow.
Mhm.
But I'm still trying to wrap my head around the concept itself. What exactly is the difference between a service aggregator and a traditional facility management company?
Well, think of a traditional company like a self-contained unit. They have their own staff, plumbers, electricians, all that, and they handle everything themselves. A service aggregator is more like an orchestrator. They have this huge network of independent contractors they can call on to meet your specific needs.
So kind of like a general contractor.
Yeah,
But instead of managing construction crews, they're managing a network of service providers.
exactly. And just like a general contractor picks the best subcontractors, an aggregator vets their partners carefully.
Got it. But what if I need, let's say, a plumber in like a really remote area? Would they really be able to help me there?
That's actually a great example of where they excel. Because they have this nationwide network, they can often find people even in those hard-to-reach places much quicker than you could on your own.
Wow, no more late night searches for plumbers near me when a pipe bursts.
Exactly. They take all that stress away.
Okay, I'm convinced about the convenience factor.
Yeah.
But tell me more about these standardized work scopes. How does
Yeah.
that actually work?
Let's say you need HVAC maintenance at all your locations. The aggregator would create a very specific scope of work, outlining every single step. Change filters, inspect belts, check refrigerant levels. It's like a checklist to make sure everything's done right.
So no matter who shows up from their network, I know they'll be following the same procedures.
Exactly. It takes away the guesswork you get when you're working with a bunch of different contractors and makes it much easier to compare prices and make sure you're getting a good deal.
I can see how that would be a relief for businesses that have had bad experiences with inconsistent service in the past.
Absolutely. Peace of mind is key.
So we've talked about the network of vetted providers, the nationwide reach, the standardized work. What other advantages are there?
Well, don't forget about one of the biggest headaches in facility management paperwork. Invoices, work orders, service reports. It can be a nightmare keeping track of everything, especially with multiple vendors.
Yeah, it can be a real mess.
Well, now imagine that all goes away. With a service aggregator, everything is in one place. You can submit work orders, track progress, look at invoices, see all the past data all together.
Okay, so no more digging through files or trying to read someone's handwriting.
Exactly. And because everything's digital, you can see what's happening in real time. When a technician's been sent out, when they arrive, when the work's done. It's a level of transparency you just can't get when you're dealing with a bunch of different vendors yourself.
Yeah, that makes a big difference, especially for data-driven businesses.
Yeah,
I bet you can even spot trends and find ways to improve things.
absolutely. You can track costs, compare how different contractors are doing, see how often you need certain services. All that data helps you get a better handle on your facility management and make smarter decisions.
So it's not just about fixing problems as they come up, it's about being proactive.
Right. And that brings us to another big advantage: technology.
Okay, I know everyone's talking about how technology is changing facility management, but I'm not sure I understand all the details. Can you give me an example of how it works with a service aggregator?
Sure. Let's talk about Utilize Core. It's a service automation platform that a lot of aggregators use, and it really takes things to the next level.
Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine you have a piece of equipment that's starting to act up. Instead of waiting for it to break down completely, Utilize Core can use data from past service records to predict when it's likely to fail and automatically create a work order for preventive maintenance.
So it's like predicting the future? That's amazing.
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. It can also automate things like sending out technicians, collecting service data, and creating reports.
Wow, that would save so much time.
It really does. It gives your team more time to focus on the bigger picture, like planning for growth or making things more sustainable.
And I bet it helps with communication too.
Absolutely. With Utilize Core, you can talk directly to technicians, get updates on how a job is going, and even get alerts if there are any problems.
That kind of communication would have been unheard of just a few years ago.
Technology is really changing the game.
So we've talked about the network, the work scopes, the platform, the technology. Is there anything else I should know about using a service aggregator?
Well, let's talk about cost.
Right. Everyone wants to save money. But wouldn't using a middleman actually cost more?
Not necessarily. Because they do so much business, they can often get better prices from service providers than you could on your own. And all the efficiency they bring through technology and streamlined processes can save you a lot of money in the long run.
So it's not just about the initial cost. It's about the value you get over time.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the reduced risk. You're not just hiring someone random from the internet. You're working with a company that's already checked out their providers and stands behind their work.
That's a good point. It's like having an extra layer of protection. So to recap, service aggregators offer a complete solution that takes care of a lot of the major headaches in facility management, finding reliable contractors, managing paperwork, keeping costs down.
That's a great summary.
Okay, I'm starting to see the whole picture now.
Good. There's one more thing I want to add. It might be the most important advantage of all.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Scalability. As your business grows, so do your facility needs. And an aggregator can grow with you. They can handle 10 locations or 100. Doesn't matter, you get the same great service.
I see. Trying to do all that yourself would be a lot for a growing company. It sounds like these aggregators really let businesses focus on what they're good at.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
You use their expertise so you can focus on your own strengths.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The network, the work, the platform, the technology, the savings, the risk, the scalability. It sounds like service aggregators really are a complete solution for facility management.
They really are. And if you're looking to streamline things, improve how efficient you are, and gain an advantage, I think they're a great option.
Definitely.
Oh,
But I think what's really stood out to me is the peace of mind.
right.
Having someone you trust handle everything, knowing you won't be hit with surprise costs or unreliable contractors, that's priceless.
It really is. You can rest easy knowing your facilities are in good hands.
I think we've given our listener a lot to think about. What's the main thing you wanted to take away from this?
Facility management doesn't have to be a constant struggle. There are solutions out there like these service aggregators that can make things easier, give you back some time, and let you concentrate on what's important growing your business.
Great point. And if our listener wants to explore this further, what should they do?
Talk to a few different aggregators, see what they offer, what their technology is like, how they work with clients. Find someone who understands your needs and can help you reach your goals.
Great advice. And of course, if our listener has any questions or specific challenges they want us to look at in a future deep dive, we're here to help.
Absolutely. We want to make facility management less intimidating and easier for everyone to understand.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of facility management service aggregators. We hope you found it useful and informative. Until next time, keep learning and keep innovating.